We are taught from birth that hard work leads to the American dream, but nobody tells you that some bosses think they bought a piece of your soul along with your 40 hours a week. There is a toxic myth floating around corporate offices from Manhattan to Los Angeles that at-will employment means you have zero right to privacy. I am here to tell you that your front door, your garage, and your personal life are not company assets, no matter how much chrome is on your boss's G-Wagon, or how many zeros are on your paycheck. I have spent 3 years giving my life to a mid-sized logistics firm. It is the kind of place where the humidity in the summer makes the warehouse feel like a sauna, and the Midwest winter mornings freeze the locks on the loading docks. My boss, let's call him Gary, is the walking embodiment of a midlife crisis fueled by a logistics empire. He drives a G-Wagon, wears cologne that you can smell before he even exits the elevator, and carries an ego that barely fits through the front door of our office. To Gary, employees aren't people, they are gears in a machine. Yesterday, that machine ground to a halt. Gary called me into his office, which is filled with glass trophies and mahogany furniture that costs more than my car, and made a demand that felt like a slap in the face. He wanted my garage door code. He claimed he was sending a fleet maintenance guy to my house, while I was working to swap out my company sedan for a newer model. He said it was to avoid wasting company time at the shop. But here is the thing. My home is in a rural area, tucked away from the prying eyes of the suburbs. My garage is detached, and it is my sanctuary. Inside, I have about $10,000 worth of woodworking equipment, including a brand new cabinet saw that I haven't even finished wiring up. That garage is the one place where I am not an employee. I told him absolutely not. I told him I had the keys in my pocket, and I would drive the car to the shop myself tomorrow. The air in the room changed instantly. The nice boss facade evaporated, replaced by a man who couldn't handle being told no by someone he viewed as his property. Research suggests that some people notice a direct correlation between high-control environments and a total breakdown in professional ethics. In the US corporate landscape, especially in logistics where every second is tracked by GPS, bosses often forget where the company's jurisdiction ends. It is important to understand that reasonable access to company property does not extend to the interior of your private residence or outbuildings. Some people notice that when a supervisor demands access to your home, they are crossing a legal and psychological line that may help indicate a larger pattern of harassment. The Fourth Amendment protects us from the government, but common law and privacy statutes protect us from the Garys of the world. While an employer owns the vehicle you drive for work, they have zero legal right to the space it is parked in if that space is your private property. Many employees feel pressured to comply because they fear the insubordination tag, but refusal to grant access to your private home is not legal grounds for a for-cause termination in most jurisdictions. Some people notice that standing your ground early on may help prevent even more egregious violations of privacy down the line. It is a power dynamic that is being challenged more frequently in post-2020 work culture, as the line between home and office continues to blur for millions of Americans. When Gary went nuclear, screaming about theft and calling me insubordinate, I realized there was no going back. He gave me an ultimatum: the code or my job. I chose my dignity. I told him that if access to my private home was a condition of employment, then I was done. I followed his order to get out to the absolute letter. I walked into his office, placed the car keys in his messy inbox right on top of a stack of shipping manifests, and left. Now, here is the beauty of the situation: I hadn't driven the company car to the office that morning. It had a slow leak in the rear passenger tire, so I had left it tucked away in the very back of the office lot, choosing to drive my wife's SUV instead. Gary was so blinded by rage and his own perceived power that he never even checked the parking lot. He assumed I was hiding the car at home. 2 hours later, my Ring camera pings. I see a tow driver, someone Gary uses for cheap fleet moves, pull into my rural driveway. He doesn't see the car, so he pulls out a pry bar and starts working on the side door of my detached garage. I didn't hesitate. I called 911 and reported a burglary in progress. Living in the sticks usually means a long wait, but a county deputy, who lives just 2 miles away, arrived in 6 minutes. He caught the guy red-handed. The driver immediately rolled on Gary, showing the deputy texts, where Gary told him to do what you have to do to get it and promising to cover the door. When the deputy called Gary to verify the theft of the vehicle, Gary, thinking he was winning, confirmed on a recorded line that he authorized the entry because I had stolen the company car. The look on the deputy's face, when he eventually drove to the office and found the car parked 50 feet from Gary's own window, must have been priceless. Gary was hauled out in zip ties for filing a false police report and solicitation to commit burglary. He even added an obstruction charge by screaming about his rights while they put him in the squad car. My lawyer is already salivating over the wrongful termination suit. Gary tried to play God with my private property, and now he is figuring out how the justice system works from the back of a squad car. If you are dealing with a boss who thinks your life belongs to them, remember that you have the power to say no. Document everything, keep your boundaries firm, and never give up the keys to your kingdom. For more stories on workplace justice and protecting your peace, hit that follow button and share your own experiences in the comments below.